Thanks for clicking! The Toronto Regional Real Estate Board just released its data for the month of April, showing a real estate market that is slowing down and quickly. Indeed, as we'll see today, not only is the Toronto market more in the favor of the buyer than it's been for the past 10 years in April, but it also has more listings available than it's had in April since pre-COVID. However, as the TREB puts it, more listings are coming to the market as sellers anticipate more demand and buyers are waiting it out for rate cuts. So, according to the TREB, sellers are flooding into the market now in anticipation that the Bank of Canada is going to be cutting rates at a much greater pace than they were last year when rates were 50 basis points lower than they are right now.
That makes sense!
So what I want to do today is go over Toronto's real estate data for the month of April, take a look at how this April compares to the past 10 years, discuss why the TREB says this April looks so different, and then go over some implications. I am going to be speaking on a panel at the Affordable Housing Summit held at the University of Toronto Scarborough campus on May 25th. So if anyone is going to be in the area, I encourage you to come out as there's supposed to be a lot of great speakers appearing. Stats Canada is expected to release Canada's inflation data for the month of April on the 21st, which will obviously have a big impact on the Bank of Canada's rate decision coming up in June. We'll obviously have an update out on that data on this channel. Click like and subscribe if you want to get those updates, but for now, let's get into April's data. Onto the data. First up, the benchmark price. The benchmark price, if you'll remember, that's the price of a home that represents the most popular set of features. The benchmark price was up in April. March's benchmark price was sitting at $1,113,600, and that jumped about $15,000 to $1,128,100. So the benchmark price is up about $15,000 month over month, but down about $17,000 since this point in time last April. Back when the media was telling everyone, the Toronto real estate market was roaring back.
Fool me once.
And the average price also jumped up in April. The average price in March was $1,121,600, and that jumped about $35,000 to $1,156,160. So the average price is up about $35,000 since last month, but only up about $3,000 since this point in time last year. And the median price is also up, though by not nearly as much. The median price, if you'll remember, that's where half as many homes sell over that price and half as many sell under that price. The median price in March was $977,300, and that went up about $4,000 to $981,500. So the median price is up about $4,000 since last month, but down about $18,000 since April of last year. And we're also seeing more inventory hitting the market relative to that of demand. If we look at the months of inventory measurement, the MOI, which measures if no more homes came to market, how long would it take for Toronto to completely run out of homes for sale, the MOI in March was 2.5, and that's up to 2.6 in April. And finally, the sales to list price ratio, which measures by how much over or under asking a home sells. So if a home is listed for $100,000 and sells for $105,000, the SLPR would be 105. The SLPR in March was 102, and that remained at 102 in April. So the SLPR remained the same, though, as we've talked about so many times on this channel, take that number with a grain of salt, as it's easily skewed by those who purposefully underprice their homes in an attempt to incite a bidding war. And the media eats it right up without question.
I will do anything you want me to do.
So we have the benchmark price up about $15,000, we have the average price up about $35,000, the median price up about $4,000, we have more inventory coming to the market relative to that of demand, and homes are still selling for about 2% over their asking price. But, as we'll see, while prices did bump up in April, the Toronto market is moving very quickly in the favor of the home buyer.
This is the worst!
Let's take a look at the sales to new listings ratio, which measures the amount of homes coming to the market and compares it with the amount of sales of those homes. The Bank of Canada says that anything between 40 and 60 is an indicator of a balanced market, with a move towards 40 being an indicator of a buyer's market. Toronto's SNLR is now at its lowest point that it's been for the month of April for the past 10 years, now sitting at 43.8. So, out of every 100 new listings coming to the market, only 43.8 are selling.
I am the salesman.
And there are a lot of new listings hitting the Toronto market, with listings up 47.2% since last year, now sitting close to their pre-COVID levels. and the largest amount of active listings sitting on the market, that we've had since 2018. Which isn't necessarily a problem for the market as long as there's corresponding demand. And the demand sure wasn't there in April, with Toronto seeing the lowest amount of sales for the month of April for the past 10 years, save COVID. So we have a massive amount of listings coming to the market. We have the highest amount of active listings sitting on the market that we've had for the past 6 years, and the lowest level of demand that Toronto has seen, save COVID, for the past 10 years.
Things are looking up.
But, says the TRREB, that's because buyers are waiting it out, waiting for the Bank of Canada to cut interest rates before they opt to buy a home. This is a marked difference from 1 month ago, when the TREB said that buyers had adjusted to these higher rates.
You really don't know anything, do you?
But the TREB could very well be correct. We did see more demand in the market at this point in time last year, back when interest rates were lower, and we were hearing that a Bank of Canada rate cut was a near certainty. Buyers didn't wait to enter the market last year, back when interest rates were lower. Could it be that buyers have woken up, saw the FOMO-induced price appreciation last year, and the subsequent loss of all that price appreciation, and are now waiting to see which way the wind blows before making what could possibly be the biggest purchase they'll ever make?
Trust me, bro.
But that waiting for rate cuts doesn't really explain why listings are so high, up 47.2% since this point in time last year. While the TREB says that homeowners are listing their homes in the anticipation that more demand will be coming to the market during the spring, wouldn't it make more sense that sellers would want to wait for those rate cuts as well, especially given that the media is telling us that demand is going to flood into the market once we see rate cuts occur? It would make much more sense for sellers to wait. Yet, sellers aren't waiting. This tells me that there could very well be some stress in the system. That maybe sellers, like buyers, don't believe that rate cuts are coming imminently. Regardless, what is clear though is that the Toronto market is rapidly moving in the favor of the buyer, with the lowest sales to new listing ratio that we've had for 10 years. And all of this means is that buyers have much more power going into the spring market. Buyers can negotiate. Buyers can and should have finance conditions. If your realtor doesn't want you to have a finance condition, if your realtor doesn't want to protect your financial interests, get a new realtor.
Stop saying that! I hate that!
So, prices are bumping up in April, still down from where they were last April, and we have much more inventory sitting on the market than we've had for the past few years. Whether or not this is a sign of things to come, whether or not this means the spring market is going to continually be in the favor of the buyer, remains to be seen. But we will obviously continue to track that on this channel. Click like and subscribe if you want to get those updates, but for now, thanks so much for watching.